Hi, this is Alex from devstories.eu. GitLab CI/CD, Episode 1 of 14. Many engineering teams rely on messy, undocumented release processes that only one person truly understands. The actual path to production remains invisible until something breaks. The .gitlab-ci.yml paradigm changes this by translating your entire build and release lifecycle into a transparent, sequential graph. GitLab CI/CD is the built-in continuous integration and continuous deployment system for GitLab. It is entirely controlled by a single configuration file named .gitlab-ci.yml. You place this file in the root directory of your project repository. Because it is committed alongside your application code, your deployment process is version controlled, auditable, and accessible to any developer looking at the repository. When you push a commit containing this file, GitLab immediately detects it and triggers a pipeline. A pipeline is the top-level architecture of your CI/CD process. It is composed of two primary components: jobs and stages. Jobs dictate what actually happens. A job contains the specific shell commands or scripts needed to execute a task, such as compiling source code, formatting text, or moving files to a server. Stages dictate when those jobs run. You organize jobs into stages to control the chronological flow of execution. Consider a standard pipeline with 3 stages. At the top of your YAML configuration file, you declare your stages in the exact order you want them to run: build, test, and deploy. Below that list, you define your individual jobs and map them to those defined stages. You start by writing a job called build-job and assign it to the build stage. Its script tells the system to compile your application. Next, you write a job called test-job, assign it to the test stage, and provide the command to run your test suite. Finally, you write a deploy-prod job, link it to the deploy stage, and give it the instructions to push the compiled application to your production environment. Here is the key insight. GitLab processes these stages strictly in sequence. The pipeline begins with the build stage. The system executes your build job. If that job finishes successfully, the pipeline automatically advances to the test stage and executes the test job. If the tests pass, it moves forward to the deploy stage. This strict ordering acts as a definitive quality gate. If a job fails at any point, for instance, if a unit test fails during the test stage, the entire pipeline halts. The deploy stage will never execute, meaning broken code cannot reach production. Because this logic is declared clearly in the YAML file, the GitLab user interface translates it into a visual pipeline graph. Anyone on your team can view a commit, look at the graph, and instantly understand exactly where the code is in the pipeline, which stage succeeded, and precisely where a failure occurred. The core strength of this paradigm is centralization. By defining stages and jobs in one root file, your deployment sequence stops being a mystery and becomes a readable, repeatable process that lives in the exact same place as your code. If you would like to help support the show, you can search for DevStories EU on Patreon. That is all for this one. Thanks for listening and keep building.